Hello, you're watching Dreaming Stories and my name is Anna. Today I would like to talk to you about the new standalone coming-of-age fantasy novel created by Lynn Buchanan, The Dollmakers. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly, but yes, this is it. It's absolutely beautiful, absolutely wonderful. As you know, recently we are not really having many standalone novels, usually just a huge ongoing series that sometimes are going on for many years. So in this case, we actually have a chance to read something in one go and be satisfied about the story. The story is happening in a country called One, and it is situated in a fictional world created by Lynn Buchanan. We don't really have a very detailed overview of the world, and it's not one of the stories where we have lineages and lots of background information about the world and about people living in it. But I felt that the information that was provided in the story was sufficient enough to create this vivid and intriguing picture of the world, but at the same time it wasn't really overwhelming. So as I already mentioned, the story is happening in a country called One. We have some glimpses of information about other nations surrounding the country called One, like for instance Gleam, Steep, Fell, and some other countries. But author doesn't really provide us more detailed information, deeper information about the surrounding areas and about the history and culture of these countries. But I would say it's intentional, and I'll tell you why in the end. The country called One is a very peaceful nation. At the same time, for generations, they keep suffering from waves of attack from shore. There is not much information about the nature of Shod and the history and how it came to be, but at the same time, people of the country called One know that the only thing that can save them and help them to defend country and its citizens from attacks from Shod are dolls. That's why the most honorable position, the most honorable profession in the country is being a doll maker. So the doll makers are divided into two categories: artisan, who are creating beautiful dolls, mostly for entertainment and pieces of art. And at the same time, there is a second type of doll makers who are creating dolls for protection, warrior dolls that are actually capable of defending country from Shod. Shod are monsters that are famous for the brutality of their attacks. No one can predict them, and people don't know where they're coming from. And the only information they have that dolls can save them. And after this brief overview of the world of the doll makers, we can finally meet our protagonist, our main character, Xian. She is a doll maker to be. Xian is a very complicated character, and probably you will hate her in the beginning. At least that was my reaction on her actions in the beginning of the book. So Xian is an orphan. Unfortunately, her parents, all her family, was killed during one of the attacks from Shod. Driven by her post-trauma, Xian is absolutely driven and obsessed with an idea to be a guard doll maker, so she can create the strong and resilient and clever dolls that will be able to protect the country from Shod. So in the beginning of the story, we meet Xian when she's about to pass her licensing exam. Unfortunately for Xian, she realizes that in the end of her licensing exam, she's being given an artisan license instead of the guard one. Xian is understandably absolutely infuriated because she's been studying for years to become a guard doll maker, but people around her and the licensor during the exam have an impression that she will be a perfect artisan doll maker, which is absolutely against of everything that Shin believed about herself. From the very beginning of the story, we learn that Shin is a very complicated and conflicted character. She is extremely talented, very driven, but at the same time infuriating because she never thinks that she can be wrong. She's absolutely headstrong, and nothing can change her opinion about herself. But at the same time, you can't help but understand and sympathize with Shen from time to time. Because you see that she's been working on this dream of hers for years. She was dreaming to become of this god doll maker and being able to help people of the country. Her dream is an admirable one. Her heart is in the right place, even though her actions sometimes are absolutely horrifying. And this is how we face the conflict of the story. Because our talented Shin creates absolutely beautiful, enigmatic, and intelligent dolls that people believe are just too fragile to be able to protect them from short. The magic of this magical world works in a way of art. When the doll is created, the master doll maker puts a birthmark on it that gives life to the doll, so the doll can fulfill his destiny. But Chia knows that her beautiful and intelligent dolls can add smart short. They can bring short to its end. So this is the story of self-determination, self-growth, and redemption. We often want to feel for Xian because we understand her motives and her dreams and what she's fighting for, because her goals are noble, but the way she conducts herself and her actions, you just can't help but to be infuriated with her. I think in order to fully enjoy the story, you really should be able to be comfortable with unlikable characters. But please don't be discouraged if you don't particularly like stories with unlikable characters. We do get some other characters throughout the book, even though their POVs are mostly episodic. But I think Lynn Buchanan created such a beautiful characterization, so we feel for every character in the story. During the story, we encounter as well one other doll maker, Ikiza, and at the same time a mysterious traveler named Rogue. Xian confronted her dreams and her reality, as well as confronting Ikiza, is the main conflict of the story. I would say that confrontation between Ikiza and Xian is fundamental. They are so different in their conduct, in the way they see the world, themselves as doll makers, and the types of dolls they create. You can't help but see them as sort of black and white of the story. I personally absolutely love the Kiza, and to be honest, I would like to have more POV time from Ikiza. But I think the beauty of Lynn Buchanan's writing is that she managed to create such an atmosphere and such characterization for all of her characters that you can't help but feel for all of them. All of these characters will evoke some sort of emotion in you. It can be rage in case of Shin, probably in the beginning of the book. It can be sorrow. It can be curiosity. But none of these characters will leave you feeling flat. According to the interviews by Lynn Buchanan, while writing this fantasy novel, she was deeply inspired by works of Studio Ghibli. And in case of Dollmakers specifically, she was striving to achieve the same feel as in Princess Mononoke by the studio. Personally, for me, I'm not sure I really felt this Studio Ghibli vibes, At the same time, the author definitely succeeded in creating this atmosphere of wonder. You really feel the world. It is definitely less epic than many of these new big fantasy novels that we usually see in bookshops. But don't be fooled. Even though we are focused on one character and their journey, their story, and their battles, I wouldn't say that the story is overly cute. It does give you a feel of coziness just because you feel you're intimately connected with the character story and the characters in the book. But at times it's very dark. It is definitely not a new Legends and Lattes because in this story, our character has to confront their own demons as well as the demons from outside world. The stakes are very high, and at times the story gets very violent, dark, and emotional. I had absolutely wonderful time reading the story, and to be honest, when I finished it, I was slightly disappointed to learn that it's actually just a standalone, just even though we don't really have many of them, and we definitely need more. But at the same time, if you notice, if you have a book or if you have it on your Kindle or any other e-reader, you notice that it's a part of Fallen Peaks. So there is a hope that we will have more novels from this world. And at least according to some interviews by the author, she definitely said that she's planning to have more novels in the same world. And I think her inspiration is to create something close to Terry Pratchett's universe. When we have this overarching fantasy world with different novels inside it and with different characters and different issues and battles that we will have lots of fun with. So it gives me lots of hope because I would definitely recommend this book, and I really hope you will like it. And at the same time, for myself, I really look forward to reading some other books by the same author from this fantasy world. You probably can hear that my voice is going. I'm really sorry about it. I'm still recovering from a cold. But to just wrap up this review, I love this book. I think it's one of the rare standalones that give us cozy vibe with at the same time lots of food for thoughts and darkness and high stakes that we can really enjoy. And I really hope to be able to read more books by this author. Please embark on this journey so you'll be able to uncover what happened to Shin. Did she actually get her license? What happened with the short? Did they manage to uncover its secrets? And what actually dolls think about all of it? Good luck.